Hi guys, I am Tuti Del Monte, and in this video today I am going to teach you how to use your Lightroom presets as well as how to modify them to your preferences. Alright, so wherever you save them on your presets, they will show up like this, or they will be named something different if you change the name. So I'm just going to open up the view so that you see all the presets, the 8 presets that we have here. So this is a raw photo right here that we're working with. And so simply to see what the preset will look like, you can just literally hover over the preset name. So as you see, I'm just hovering and it's showing me the different presets and what they're going to look like on my photo. And so once you find one that you like, let's say I'm going to use this one right here, number 5, you click on it so it applies the preset. So now it is on the photo. The image has the preset. And so here on your right side, and if you don't see your right side panel, it's probably because this right here is unmarked. So just go ahead and click on it and it opens up. And just another quick shortcut I know is if you press Shift Tab on your keyboard, it'll hide all of the 4 corner tabs, or if you press it again, it will bring them back in. All right, so Shift Tab on your keyboard. Okay, so we are here. And so right now, this right side panel shows that it is trying to access a mask, or it's not showing me the full develop panels. So I'm just gonna press Enter, and there we go. We have access to all of the panels now. So if I truncate all of this, depending on what your style and your your preference is, you can either have them all open or all closed and just open one at a time as you go. So with this photo specifically, I'm pretty happy with what this preset looks like. I think it, looks beautiful on her skin. I think there's enough softness that I don't need to have more softness, but let's pretend like you want to make it less warm. So that's what this basic panel is right here. So this is your colors, your temperature. So you can either move it to the right to make it warmer, move it to the left to make it less warm. So obviously this is completely subjective and it will be in accordance to your style, but your temperature and your tint will be the very first cursors that you can access on your develop and basic panel. So go ahead and tweak that. Then we have your tones, which means your lights, your shadows, your whites, your blacks. I, for the most part, I do prefer when highlights are a little bit down, just so that I find that it softens the skin naturally. So if that's not your style, if you like more contrast, go ahead and play with the highlights, similarly with the lights and the shadows. But for the most part, I like where this is at. Now texture is where you can add some softness without using the luminance cursor that I'll show you in a little bit. You don't want to go overboard on this. If you zoom in, I'm going to go ahead and show you the before, like the raw image, and then the after. And so if you go a little too overboard on this, it's going to start looking to me a little bit fake. So you need to find that middle ground where there's still some sharpness to the photo, but there is some softness on the skin. And again, this is like for boudoir photography. This is different when it's like a portraiture or any other type of photography. For boudoir, for the most part, I like to keep skin kind of soft. So like I said, I like what this looks like. One of the other big places I do a lot of work is on the color mixer and the color grading. As you see, the preset itself already has all of these settings changed. So you don't have to go in and do all of them, but if you do want to change the colors of the photo, this is where you would do it. And just a quick little tip, this eye symbol icon right here, if you press it, it will show you, it will essentially hide all the settings that this specific color mixer is applying to the photo. So right now I still have my mouse clicked, so you see what it's without. And if I unclick it, you see what it's like after the effects. So that will show you whether you want to go into these settings and change something. So this is the before and this is the after. And so let's say that I want to pull in a couple tones, like some blue tones, maybe here on the whites, or right here in these highlights right here. I would do that instead of in the color mixer. I would do that in the color grading settings. So you see how it says here midtones, shadows, and highlights. So obviously this will apply to midtones, this will apply to shadows, and this will apply to the highlights. So because I want to see what it would look like for the whites in my photo to have a little bit of a blue tone, I'm going to play around with this cursor and this setting right here. So I like to kind of max out. As you see, I am scrolling on the outside of the wheel versus seeing what it looks like right here, because the closer you move to the center, the closer you are in the center, the less intense the color is. The further you're out, the more intense. And you can always adjust that later. I just like to get a sense for what tone do I even like first, and then I will change and modify how intense that color is. So for this photo, I like this tone. And so I let go of my mouse, and now I'm going to click it, and you'll see that there's a line that forms to the center of that wheel. So now the more I move to the center, the less intense it is. I'm kind of happy with that right there. And I'm going to click here to see before and after. Before and after. I'm pretty happy with that. So that's something I would do for this photo. So now obviously there are a ton of other settings that you can look at in order to change the photo to your preference, but those are just the biggest ones that I usually look at, in addition to this last one here, the calibration, because that also impacts the colors. This is before, that's after, before and after. So if I wanted to change any of those colors, I would go into here. But that gives you a basic idea of how to use your presets and how to modify them to your preference. Hope this video helped.